Kenny's in trouble. He's going to run. He's going to get the first down.
Don't sleep on those legs. Oh, he faked the slide. Sauce time. The Pitt Panthers have pulled a stunning upset over the West Virginia Mountaineers.
And Johnny Majors gets a ride across the field.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Semple 5. Semple 5. Jesus Christ. Semple 5.
Semple 5. Semple group of 5. Because that's what we'll be previewing tonight.
All right. There we go. That was a lost intro until you just saved that.
That's what you pay me the big bucks for.
Well, yeah. Welcome back to Semple 5. Live and in person this time. We're no longer using... I've used Discord. I use Teams for the interview with Kayla Lund. It is actually so much better to talk to someone face to face. Yeah.
Really excited to be... live and in person. Hopefully we'll start putting out a little bit of a better product that way too when we're kind of here and we can really bounce the days off each other and that sort of thing. Really excited to go through with this production style.
The other thing too is that we would lose audio sometimes on Discord, and like there were times where I'd have to actually go back and record something and say like, oh, we lost this audio, but here's generally what they said. I'm really excited to not ever have to do that ever again.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely a better capture of what we're trying to get across, which is awesome.
All right, so as you heard, it's me and Mason tonight. I mean, my day was fine. How was yours?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about this off air, but I did not have a great day. It was just one of those mornings. I woke up, somehow locked my keys in my fucking car. It was raining. I was like pissed off, and then all of a sudden, clouds part a little bit. Rain stops, locksmith comes, gets my keys out of my car, and then it hit me that we are officially in college football season for the next however long we have.
Well, it's September, October, November, December, because you have whole season is basically 4.5, almost 5 months with.
For the foreseeable future,
yes,
we have college football. We made it. We finally made it.
And doing a little time travel, a little behind the scenes. We were recording at, 8:26 p.m. on Thursday night. So right now we are 1 week from the backyard ball. When you hear this, it'll be 6 days. But in 1 week, I might not even realize what's going on in the field. That
I will be completely brain dead, slapping seats in Heinz, just being an absolute maniac for this game. The closer we get, the more excited I get too.
We're driving up on a Wednesday night. We're going to get to Pittsburgh at midnight. We're going to be miserable, sweaty, tired, and it will be all worth it.
All that goes out the window for college game day. Thursday night.
I can't.
Let's go.
Are we going to get to the stadium early for that?
Probably. Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll drink all day to make up for it.
Absolutely. All right. Icy lights all weekend.
Absolutely. Let's lay out the show a little bit here. We're going to start with some Pitt news, then go into sort of a group of 5 picks / preview. Our thoughts are that we kind of got started on our season previews late, so we don't really have time to go over each group of 5 conference. We're going to give you the top teams. Each conference, we all have a different conference winner for each conference. That way we don't talk about teams like Rice, who are bad.
Yeah. We'll play the hits. For these guys.
And then we'll go into fucking week 0. We got games tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
All right, so let's start with the Pitt news. Kedon Slovis, QB1. How do you feel?
Felt like a long time coming. So, said it before, I'll say it again. Would be and still would be fine with either guy that we got here. But it feels like the right choice given we're bringing in a new coordinator. It was kind of Slovis' job to lose given what he's done at USC and some of the clips that we've seen. He's really looked accurate. He's looked good. So I'm excited to see what he kind of does this first week against West Virginia.
I mean, yeah, it's a big test, a rivalry game. The other team is up for it. It's just you got to perform. My thoughts are that there is a bright lining or a silver lining for both quarterbacks because Slovis obviously gets a chance to prove that he was the Heisman contender that he should have been or was built up to be before his injury. And Patty, props to him. He stuck it out. He has not announced a transfer yet. But he is a very rare quantity in college football. He is a known he know what you have as a backup. I mean, most of the time, if your backup quarterback comes in college football, you're lucky if he has 13 or 15 throws on the year.
Yeah.
So I think it's fair to say that Slovis definitely has the higher ceiling, probably a lower floor. We've seen some sninkers from him. Patty is sort of your middle of the road, almost like
he's a Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, but who's the guy at Michigan right now? Not the exciting one. Cade McNamara.
Yeah.
He's Cade McNamara. He's not going to hurt you, but he's not going to hurt the other team. Whereas Slovis is more of a J.J. McCarthy, where he can hurt the other team, but we don't know if he's going to hurt us or that.
Yeah.
Or he's going to hurt us. Other than that, talking about last week's scrimmage, which I believe is I don't know if it's the final scrimmage, but I would assume so. With the game getting so close,
starting to get guys healthy, it's probably about that time to start thinking about WVU and not hitting our own guys for a change.
I think the big news coming out of that was that Jalen Barden, one of the I would say underclassmen wide receivers from last year, he was named the game's MVP and showing that he's really coming into his own in this new system. And he's going to be one of those guys that steps up with Taysir Mack, Melkeith Stovall, and Jordan Addison leaving.
Yeah, you got to love when those young guys step up.
Wait. Young guys.
Young guys.
Young guys.
Yeah.
Mason, is that a black book you're pulling out of your pocket right now? Why is there an airplane sticker on it, Mason?
Burns flight logs. No, you do gotta seeing a guy like that show out in one of those games, especially with the departures that we've had. Is huge to just get a guy the team can rally around is always good to see. So that was a cool thing.
Well, it's going to be great when we go to the Little St. James
Little
Bowl.
St. Presented by Bad Boy Mowers.
They're doing the Pinstripe Bowl this year? It's the Bad Boy Mowers Pinstripe Bowl.
That's kind of cool actually, because mowing stripes. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I guess.
I'm reaching hard.
Yeah,
I'm reaching hard.
I hope you stretch, buddy. Yep. Want to crack that on mic?
Transition sound. You gotta get a good one.
Ooh.
Crispy.
All right, let's talk some Group of 5 football. Not everyone's gonna give them their love. Listen. I'll give out some free betting advice on the show right now. Major books do not know how to set lines for the Group of 5. It's pretty obvious. So 3 plays that I have going right now, and they're all on a. Excuse me, we're having a couple of podcast beers. They're all on, I believe, FanDuel, not sponsored, by the way.
Yeah.
Western Michigan over-under is set at 6.5. They lost their 2 good players, Sky Moore and Caleb Ellaby, who all of the listeners of this podcast know pretty well.
Yeah.
So, 6.5. Sheesh. And then they have UCF at 8.5. John Rice Plumlee is their starting quarterback. He's never thrown for more yards than he has rushed in the season.
That's a crazy stat.
And they're saying 8.5 wins in fucking 2022.
I feel like that conference also isn't great, but there's a lot of other solid teams that. I mean, who do that? Because
they get Louisville out of conference. I would say they're going to lose to them. And then I don't know if they get Houston, but they're not going to beat Cincinnati in their division. So SMU might be on the other side of the division. I don't know. We're not talking about UCF, by the way. They're not one of our picks to actually win
the Ricochet shot because they have good odds on their over-under for the year.
Yeah. So hammer that under on both of them, by the way. Before we get actually into these conferences, I do want to shout out 2 teams. Army, they run the triple and they're good at it. They're probably going to win 8 to 9 games. I have not looked at their schedule, but it's Army. It is what it is.
We love the troops.
I mean, we'll get to that later, but I'm doubling down on the troops this year. And then BYU. Fun fact, how many players do you think with playing experience does BYU bring back? Out of, was it 85 scholarship spots? Yeah, 85. So out of 85, how many players do you think they bring back?
I mean, you got to think 15?
55.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jaron Hall is a super senior quarterback. And then you have players all over both sides of the ball who have playing experience. Not starting, but they have played in games. They were pretty bad with injuries last year. They have a ton of people with playing experience. And their schedule is like... I'm not saying they're going to do it, but if they run the table, because they play Baylor, Arkansas...
There's another tough one in there.
There's another... It's not A&M, but it's somewhere in the Midwest. I think they play Oregon.
They do. I think that checks out.
They dodged Utah, but I think there's 2 other Power 5 games on that schedule. If they can go 5-0, that is playoff dark horse.
Yeah. Big 12's licking their chops with that. If they can get the a playoff dark horse coming in next year, that would be huge for not just BYU, but with conference realignment and everything in general, that would be big for them.
Oh, by the way, the other teams I was thinking about, Boise State, Liberty, and Notre Dame. I think if they go 6-0 in that, maybe even I think you have to beat Notre Dame, Arkansas, and Baylor for sure.
Yeah.
I think you have to beat the Power Fives.
Yeah.
And then if you're beating those teams, you shouldn't lose to Liberty or Boise State.
Right. Yeah. Notre Dame's an interesting one. That's going to be
That's in Vegas.
Yeah. That's the battle of the religions, Catholics versus
schisms.
Yeah.
It's the Schism Bowl. It's not even like Protestants. It's just straight up Mormons. It's like they're fighting the grandsons of their enemies.
Yeah, it's a tale as old as time.
I mean, the Inquisition is still happening, and you're going to see it live in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
where there are definitely nothing else. The Inquisition should be it.
It's going to be an empty stadium because
people use like.
No, I'm just kidding. Provo's close enough, and Catholics like to gamble. I'm pretty sure, so there are no
fans in every city.
Yeah,
even the Sin City. We're not going to talk about Notre Dame. They're starting Tyler Buckner. He sucks.
Yeah. If you came here for Notre Dame content, get out.
Agreed. You want to talk some AAC?
Let's do it.
So not the ACC, not our conference. I find myself typing this one, having to go back, delete it. Why don't you start with your pick?
So, in my head, it's an easy one.
Okay.
Right? It's Cincy.
Okay.
I know a lot of people are high on Houston.
Me
included. So I was going to say you can try to persuade me here.
Okay.
They lost a lot. I know that's been the big story, but I still think that the talent that they bring back, especially on the defensive side of the ball, is going to keep them at the top of that division. It's going to be much closer than it has been in years past. Obviously, Cincinnati's probably not going to be a playoff team this year. That gap between Houston and Cincy, whoever's on top, is going to be pretty close. Mm-hmm. But I do just like what Cincy's doing. Luke Fickell's a fucking stud of a coach. No disrespect to Dana Holgerson. But Cincy's proven. That's my reasoning.
I mean, I see the argument for both teams. Right? On Cincy's side, they have Ben Bryant at quarterback, who I believe they recruited. He transfers to Eastern Michigan, and he transferred back. He's basically a loner quarterback. He looked good at EMU, and since he wanted him previously, they obviously like what they have in it. Following up Ritter is no easy task. However, Cincinnati is a development program first and foremost. I mean, until those guys started playing, we didn't know they were stars. Like Sauce Gardner, no one knew who he was before he started playing, and even when he was getting recognized before his final season, it still took people another year to realize how good he is. So the argument is, I would say, kind of the same for Baylor, right? It's a program where you don't know who the stars are going to be, but by the end of the year, you know who those stars are. And
okay.
And it's also, you're going to bet against the King. They haven't lost an AAC game since 2019.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Jesus Christ, that's nearly 3 years.
Yeah. Just in time to get out.
Yeah. And, me on the other side, I'm going to pick Houston. I really like both sides of the ball here. I think that Dana's got his perfect offense. He can be chain smoking cigs on the sideline.
Love it.
Visor fully showing a gigantic bald spot. But who's their fucking quarterback? quarterback. It's they got Clayton Tune at quarterback. They have Nathaniel Dell, who is actually going to be one of the best receivers in the country. He is a superstar at the G5O. Going to be a high-round draft pick. And they've got a great O-line for pass blocking. That's what Dana wants to do. I don't think that anyone in the AAC has the talent, maybe besides Cincinnati, to even keep up with them or hold them in. And then on the other side of the ball, it's not like they're just one-dimensional. They have an amazing defense. And it actually was the strongest suit of their team last year before the offense really got into gear.
Yeah.
But their coordinator, Doug Belk, he's going to be on lists for jobs throughout college football next year. His defense is just that good. And, they have one of the best D-lines. They have experienced defensive backfield. I'm going to take Houston, but I think that if you pick either one of these teams, it's a safe bet.
It feels like there's a pretty big gap between those two and, the rest of the pack, too, right?
The only team I really have, even borderline on that top tier is SMU. And that's just because Rhett Lashley, former Miami offensive coordinator, is now the new coach. He's got a really good quarterback with Tanner Mordecai, former Oklahoma player. Yeah. They can put up points. I think if one team is going to best one of these two, it's going to be SMU. I have no faith in UCF. That's really about it. No one else is that good.
I'm with you there. What was Kent's pick so we can break our tie here?
Kent was actually Cincinnati.
Kent was after Cincinnati too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do Sunbelt next. Fun Belt?
Actually, fuck it. I know who I'm picking. We're going App State.
You want App State?
I'm going App State. Yeah.
Let me hear about it.
I don't have a lot of analytics on this one. I just think that Coastal's had their time.
Okay.
Coastal kind of had their year. Haven't that year when they were the Mullets.
11-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, the COVID year.
Haven't really been that since then. And I really like what App State's doing.
I mean, yeah, Chase Bryce looked pretty good last year. He is the one who posted a screenshot after they beat Coastal of someone talking shit to him. So he is certified baller. They have some really good running backs up there. They got a pretty nasty defense too. However, I'm going to be on the opposite side of that. I'm going to take Coastal because they go to Coastal this year, and it's very simple. I have 2 words why I'm picking Coastal Carolina. Do you know what they are?
Is it a name?
Yes, it's a name.
Is it Grayson McCall?
That was a long look at your notes there, but yeah. You took some good notes for the test, buddy. I just think that, even last year they had to replace a lot of talent on the offense, and this year they really have to replace a lot of talent. Jesus Christ, I think they have to replace 7 defensive starters and 8 offensive starters, and the only real constant is Grayson McCall, but I just think he can do it. He runs Jamie Chadwell's system so well. He's such an excellent option quarterback that, I don't know, it just, I'm not going to bet against them because the only reason they didn't play for the Sun Belt Championship last year is that they lost 1 game to App. So realistically, it's just choosing between those two.
Yeah, I mean that's a good argument. That does them going to Coastal. Definitely kind of affects that game for sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know, man. This is more of just a feeling for me. Maybe it is just the recency bias of because of that game last year. But I could, like you said with Houston and Cincy, I could also see this one going the other way. This wasn't like a dead in the water pick for me.
I agree. Yeah. The only thing here is that we're betting on the same side of the division, right? The
Yeah.
Sun Belt West. The only team that I think you're going to have out of that side is Louisiana, formerly of Billy Napier fame. I think they'd be in contention for the league only because I think by default they have to win that side of the conference.
Yeah.
If you want a dark horse team, I think it's Georgia State. They did beat Coastal last year. They've got an excellent running offense. Their coach looks like a tomato. But I think that if you want a dark horse team out of the East, it's Georgia State. I don't think James Madison will win it all their first year.
No, there's definitely going to be some growing pains there for the big boy level.
I mean, I don't know. They played North Dakota State the closest out of any team, even over the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they're obviously one of the big boys. I think there are going to be growing pains. I don't think they're like. There's no way they go undefeated in their first season of FBS.
Yeah, they'll be right in the mix, but it's not going to be a. I don't know. Anytime you make a transition like that, it's very different, regardless of what, conference you're moving to.
By the way, Kent's pick, App State. Jesus.
Me and Ken are sharing notes. He's here in spirit. I'm just a mouthpiece for him.
He only sent me that text too. He didn't send it to you.
I know. We'll see. We'll see how many I can get right of Kent's.
All right, fine. Let's go to the CUSA. There are basically 2 teams you can pick here.
For which one?
CUSA, Conference USA.
Okay.
We might all have the same team on this one.
I think that we probably do. This was the like most. Like all the other ones, I was teetering back and forth. This one, I knew right away.
All right. 3, 2, 1. UTSA. Okay,
yes.
Good. So UTSA loses their running back Sincere McCormick, but basically returns the 2 other biggest pieces of the offense. They returned quarterback Frank Harris, who's one of the best in the group of 5, and wide receiver Zachary Franklin, who could probably challenge Nathaniel Dell for the best wide receiver in the group of 5.
Yeah.
Basically, I think if you have those 2 guys, you can let your run game find itself, or really just, if you have to, lean into your passing game. I don't think that it's too much of an issue either way.
Totally agree for the same reasons. They were, did they get up? They were ranked for a couple weeks last year.
They got into the low 20s before having a super weird loss to one of the worst teams in the conference.
Yeah, and then received a few top 25 votes for this AP poll too, right?
I think they were in the receiving votes category.
Yeah. So I mean, they're going to be right around that line, bringing a lot of those people back. Do you see a team in here that could give them a run? Who's going to be the next best?
I would say, I think there are 2 options. One is within their own division in the conference, and the other one is really just whoever comes out of the East. So I think UAB. I was teetering on picking between these 2, but I couldn't, in good faith, pick them now because UAB's head coach resigned due to medical reasons right before the season. I think it made me lose some confidence in them because they just promoted from within. Obviously, he's an interim. This is his interview for the job. I don't know how that's going to play out. I don't feel confident in taking I believe the first-time head coach right away. I mean, maybe as the season goes on, maybe I'll waffle back towards UAB, but I mean, they return a lot of pressure. I think that had they retained their head coach, I might have gone away from UTSA, especially because UTSA is traditionally a very down program.
Yeah.
I mean, last year was a completely out of the blue for them. Well, it's not out of the blue. It was building towards it. It was completely out of the ordinary. But I think that the continuity at quarterback and head coach really gives UTSA the edge here. And then, I don't know, someone's got to win the East. There are a bunch of really bad teams, and I would think that Western Kentucky wins it again.
That was my thought.
They're not going to be as good because, Bailey Zappi is gone. They actually had to replace their offensive coordinator because he went to Texas Tech. They did hire a guy off the same tree, and they brought up a quarterback from D2 West Florida who won the D2 championship in 2019, I believe. But I think that's your option on the other side of the conference.
I think if I had to, kind of throw darts at a board, they would be the one I would be aiming for.
Because other than that, it's like Charlotte and FAU.
Yeah.
Run by Willie Taggart, not the player who has a bad offense.
Let's go Owls, baby. Yeah, no. This was an easy one for me. One more question about UTSA here. Mm-hmm. Uniforms. Are they cool? What's your take on their color combo?
Do you have the picture pulled up? I like them.
More so just the color scheme.
I think I like them both. I mean, I think I like the away ones more. I think the gray looks really good with like the... But then again, it does just kind of look like the Mets.
Yeah. Look like a New York football, basketball, or hockey team. But I think that...
Football.
Basketball, my bad.
Baseball.
Basketball, baseball.
Hockey.
Yeah. The sports. But So this just might be my pro-team bias, but I hate when the New York teams do the orange and blue. But for some reason, when UTSA does it, I love it. I think they're
You're talking about the orange on the blue?
Just the color scheme in general.
I think that orange is really hard to pull off as a sports team.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have any good retro uniforms. I'm looking that up right now. Oh man, this one goes absolutely nuts. Look at this. It's like an orange Wyoming jersey. I love that shit. Maybe I'll link that in the podcast description. By the way, Ken also picked UTSA, so we're in lockstep agreement here.
Yeah.
All right, Mountain West. I'm gonna start with Ken's pick.
Okay.
Ken has Fresno State, and I got one word: Hainer Mania.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty solid bet, right? He's one of the best group. Jake Haener's one of the best group of 5 quarterbacks, and I think that in the Mountain West, where he's on the opposite side of the division from Utah State, Boise, Air Force, the 3 big teams, I think that what you're betting on is that he can beat one of those teams in the championship game and also overpower San Diego State when they play in the regular season.
Okay. I could definitely see that. Don't agree with Ken here.
Okay.
So we have finally a difference of opinion.
Okay, let's hear it.
Do you have the same? Did you side
No,
with Ken?
I don't have Fresno.
Okay. So I think that I'm going to go with Boise.
Okay.
Mountains are blue and so is the turf.
Yep.
And I just like them coming out of that side. I think it will be, like you said, them and Fresno State.
You think Fresno's going to win the other side?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct. But I just like Boise in that Mountain West conference.
You like them bouncing back this year?
Yes.
I mean, they have Hank Bachmeier again. This is a loaded group of 5 quarterback class, but he has been really good for them, even if the record hasn't shown.
Yeah, I think they have a lot of potential. It's they do what they do there. I mean they've been they've been Boise for how long that it feels like they can't have this stretch where they go so long without winning it.
Peterson,
you know what I mean?
Peterson got there in 2006, and they've been one of the most winningest teams in college football ever since.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Which is crazy. So maybe it's just that. Maybe it's the hook and ladder games that are like in the back of my brain subliminally. But I like Fresno State a lot, but I see it going the other way.
I mean, Boise State is the closest you can get to a group of 5 helmet pick out of any of these schools, right?
Yeah.
So we're gonna have our first 3-way disagreement.
Wow.
I'm respecting the troops. I'm taking Air Force. I mean, this is a 10... I think they won 9 or 10 games last year. I'm not sure about the bowl, but I think they won 9 games regular season last year, and they bring back their experience. Like, they don't do a true triple option, but they do an offshoot of the triple option.
Yeah.
And I think that another year running the triple option with the same quarterback, like all the best Navy and Army teams were with experienced triple option quarterbacks, and their quarterback, Zeke Daniels, coming back for another year. So I'd like them to run their side of the division and then kind of play ball control. Like, if they go against Fresno, they can play ball control. If they go against San Diego State, they can just grind them down.
Yeah. Interesting pick. All right, you're really for the troops.
I'm playing college.
Navy pick for the
God,
AAC.
Navy sucks, dude. We might have to go to a Navy game and just start booing the troops. Like, no. I picked Air Force. I'm not going to preview.
This guy hates America. Whoa.
I hate our seas. I hate the Coast Guard. But Air Force? All right. How long do you think till we get a Space Force football team. Because the Coast Guard has one.
Do they really?
Division 3. Coast Guard is Division 3.
Holy shit. Within the next 50 years,
Okay.
we'll have...
I like that. Gives you a lot of Leo with that pick. Other teams to look out for in the Mountain West. Like we said earlier, San Diego State, really good defense. They were in the title game last year. And then you can't count out the reigning champs in Utah State. I mean, they have a veteran quarterback. Geez, I feel like I'm saying they have a veteran quarterback, but they do. Logan Bonner, he has 30 touchdowns to replace the receiver, but he's good enough to replace him. All right, America's favorite conference, MAC. Oh my God. You cannot see this at home, but Mason got a shirt on. It's the MAC logo. It says MAC is war. Is that a reference to some Maction plays?
I'm pretty... Yeah, this was a Barstool Sportsbook. Barstool Maction Wednesday night game. You win the shirt. So, I have credentials. I have credentials to talk about the MAC because I won money off them one time.
All right, and I'm trying to win money off them this year. I don't know how you feel, but I think I was leaning back and forth between two teams.
I had it, yeah. You go first.
Okay. I was going back and forth between Northern Illinois, reigning champs, and Central Michigan. I'm taking Central Michigan. I think that Northern Illinois, even though all their they should get better this year. They were an extremely young team last year. I think they're just a candidate to regress based on all their one-score games. And I really like the rushing attack at Central Michigan. I think they won 9 straight games at the end of last year. And they only lost 2 times within conference. And they only lost by 1 in Northern Illinois. They play on the same side of the division.
Yeah.
Lou Nichols and Kobe Lewis are their 2 running backs for this year. Kobe Lewis was a really good back, then got hurt. And then Lou Nichols ran for over 1,400, 1,500 yards. And they have the guy who was supposed to be better than him as well. So I think that they might be just a better version of that Northern Illinois running attack this year. Also, Jim McElwain coaches there.
Yeah.
It's very, very weird. I always forget about that.
They're always one that they were one of my kind of. There were 3 kind of teams that I was looking at here. Was definitely teetering between NIU, like you said, and Central Michigan, but I ended up going with Central Michigan to win it all. So, is this going to be the same? Are me and Kent going to be on the same page here again?
Now, who do you think he took? He didn't take CMU.
I don't know. Did he just pick Western Michigan because they played Pitt?
He took Toledo. I have nothing prepared on Toledo.
Oh, I mean,
the thing is with Toledo, I think that's.
Do they have a good? Are they have a very they have a bunch of seniors or something? Are they returning a bunch of people?
They're quote unquote the best recruiting team in the MAC, right? They're the most consistent with talent. But the thing is, the coach there is the guy who's following up Matt Campbell. And he only won the division once with Matt Campbell's players, and he just hasn't been that good. I don't know. I don't like Jason Candle as a coach. I think other teams to look out for maybe are, like you said, Northern Illinois. I mean, that's just, they're going to run the ball a lot. Rocky Lombardi is back for his 17th year as a college quarterback. He looks like Draco Malfoy.
Yeah. He's got that vibe to him.
I think it's really going to be either NIU or CMU, but out of the East, you might have Eastern Michigan, Toledo. A lot of people like Miami, Ohio, because they have an old quarterback. But I think it's going to be one of the 2 Western teams.
Yeah. Also, kind of thought he might have picked Kent State too, just for the meme. But
well, at least they would have been in the championship last year.
Actually, for the graphic, just put Kent State. You
think it'll check?
just put a picture of Kent and then State.
Listen to Toledo.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
Yeah,
I'm feeling confident.
Yeah, that was all. We didn't miss anybody, right?
No, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 conferences.
Yeah, we're good.
I think there are no other independents to talk about. We covered all the actually good ones.
Yeah.
I think Liberty's going to suck. Then there's UConn and UMass. Should we go to the Cum Bowl?
What is the Cum Bowl?
UConn, UMass, C, and then the UMass.
Oh, shit. That would be... Oh, what an awful game that is.
I think it was 19-16 last year. Or I think it might have been 16-9. Some terrible score played in Connecticut fog.
The only score that's better than 16-9?
6-9.
13-9.
Speaking of scores, why don't we pull up our... Week 0 is coming up.
Yeah.
Let's preview some fucking games.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah.
Hey.
We have a question for you. We're recording the pod quick.
All right.
What Hams or Mario's?
For best Oakland bar.
I'm gonna go with Mario's.
All right. You broke the tie for us. That's
All right. I mean, it wasn't an easy decision.
I know. That's what I said too.
Pictures.
That's what
I
I
feel
said
like
too.
without the shot pictures, I feel like Helms wouldn't be like anything. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Agreed.
but Mario's is the best overall bar.
All right.
I could have put G-Door up there too, but now it's gone. So.
R.I.P.
Yeah, I never got to go there.
Really?
Yeah.
That G-Door was crazy fun.
Well, they were strict, and then they just never opened again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, R.I.P. G-Door, but yeah, I'll say Mario's.
All right.
Thanks, bud.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, as Kent just settled our argument, I'm still unhappy. I think Hems is the best bar, but he makes a good argument. I'll sit with it. We're doing our Week 0 preview, and we're gonna kind of do this like a lot of people call it a tasting menu, but I think we're gonna call it game tiers. Of what we think are gonna be the best games of the weekend.
Yeah.
And so our basic tiers, we have 3 tiers. The games you want to watch, you should watch, and the games you're looking forward to watching. Just like the bar you're looking forward to going to, like
Mario's, yes.
Our second tier is, well, you'll watch it if it's on, you're channel flipping, maybe everything else is in a commercial break, and if you settle there, you end up there, it's whatever, it's how the night goes. That's bootleggers.
Mm-hmm.
And then our final tier, our bottom tier, is the bars you do not want to go to. If you're watching this game, if you're at this bar, you've messed up, you have some questionable life decisions, maybe you have some money riding on Idaho State at 1 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon. That's Fats.
That's Fats.
Or Panther House. I like calling it Panther House. I think Fats is a terrible bar name.
I agree. It was always Panther House to me.
Just like how it's Peters to some.
Yeah. It's just the chain of events. It's the way it goes. So we'll rock it. We'll rock it, and we'll call it Panther House.
Okay. Okay. So just to be clear, top tier Mario's, middle tier bootleggers, bottom tier Fats. You want to go? Let's start from the top.
Okay.
So, I think I'm actually really excited to watch this game. It's the 12:30 game on Fox. Nebraska Northwestern in Ireland.
In Ireland. Let's go.
Did you know that Pitt played in Ireland? I learned this today.
No idea.
The second college football game in Ireland was Pitt Rutgers.
That's gross.
I know. I mean, and it would have been before the Big East was even a thing, so it's not like it was a conference matchup. I think only 20,000 people went because the year before they sent over Boston College. You're like, I guess you're sending over a team to Ireland, Boston College and Notre Dame are probably the 2 best ones to send, and then you send Pitt Rutgers, which doesn't really inspire confidence.
Yeah, that's crazy. I did not know that.
Okay, I just looked it up. Curvin Richards scored 3 touchdowns, and Adam Walker had 2 scores.
Curvin Richards?
Curvin Richards.
What a fucking name. It's literally Curved Dick.
As 24th ranked Pittsburgh extended its mastery over Rutgers to another continent with a 46-29 victory in 1989.
1989. Holy shit.
Yeah.
All right, so this is not a new and novel concept. I thought this was a little bit groundbreaking for European college football.
Notre Dame's played there, like, I think 3 times. I want to say it's all been against Navy, too, and they're playing Navy there next year as well.
Okay.
But it's not a novel concept, college football in Ireland. I guess the NFL has England. I think they try to do Germany, too, right?
Yeah.
So college football gets Ireland, which I'll take, I don't know. We'll say that right. This podcast is 100% anti-British Empire, anti-accents, anti-fish and chips. We'll save the pubs, but that's about it.
Yeah, Guinness is good too.
Well, that's not British, that's Irish.
It is. Yeah, you're right.
Bro.
Bruv.
You're thinking that, you know what, you've had too much Guinness Blonde. You think it's just a Baltimore thing. It's just been spread all over the world.
Yeah. It's a Greek town thing.
It's in fucking Halethorpe.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, let's get back to the game. Here's the thing. I don't even think this is going to be even a particularly good game.
No, I think it will. I think it's going to be a Big Ten game. It's going to be low scoring. The fans that are there might think it's a rugby game, the amount of times they're punting the ball. But so that might get, some crowd engagement. But it's the best one on the slate by far.
I'll agree. It's definitely the best game on the slate by far.
Yeah.
I am interested to see how Casey Thompson does. Like, I actually have interest in seeing what Mark Whipple looks like in Nebraska. I think that's what we'll be watching for.
Yes.
But, we'll probably be live tweeting it from the pod account, right?
Yep.
But the thing is, I just think that even for how mediocre Nebraska can be, Northwestern is just desolate.
Yeah.
Because Ryan Helinski's probably starting. They haven't even announced starting quarterback yet.
Even if I would think it would be him too. Even if they did switch it up last minute, I don't really think it affects the
outcome.
Yeah.
I think it'll be all. I don't think it'll even be close, but it'll probably be the most quality football on, which is a very, very weird thing to say.
Yeah, but this is going to be this is a great week 0 game because you're not getting your hopes up too high.
No.
Right? Like you're dipping your toes in with this game. You're getting ready, just the way they're going through training camp, we're going through training camp as fans, right? This is a tune-up game. And that's why I think it's the perfect teams fucking in Ireland. It's a little bit wonky, so it'll just ease us right into the rest of the season.
Maybe something dumb will happen. It'll get us, I think that my hope for this game is just that something dumb happens, or I can laugh at Mark Whipple.
Yes, yeah, I would love just a stinker of an offensive game, so that all those Nebraska fans that when anybody from Pitt says something half not great about Whipple, they're. Yeah, us most. I mean, we've said plenty of stuff, but anytime somebody says something bad about him, these Nebraska stands no, he's going to be great. I want them to eat their words.
He's respected. He's respected. It's okay.
Not everyone who's respected deserves it.
Correct.
But yeah, that's the obvious one. Do you have any others that are in that top tier?
So I think it's a little biased, but I think that spiritually, this is a Big Ten West Conference game. Wyoming, Illinois at 4 o'clock on Big Ten Network. They're two teams that love running the ball. I personally have a pretty soft spot for Wyoming because, some of my formative college, I can name my 3 formative college football games I watched on TV. Clemson, Louisville, the Lamar Jackson, that's 2016. Where they got stopped on 4th down.
Yes.
That one, kick 6, and then a random, week 1 or week 0, Wyoming-Nebraska game, where they were just, trading shots in the 4th quarter. Wyoming was trying to come back, but the defense can't stop them. So I have a soft spot for the Cowboys. I think they have a really cool stadium. I really like their uniforms. They make Brown work. I think it's really hard to do.
Not a lot of teams do it well.
Team that has it as their namesake does not do it well.
Exactly.
But Illinois too. It'll be fun. Tommy DeVito, former Syracuse quarterback, just won the starting job, and I think that Chase Brown's a really fun running back to watch. I think it'll be a really good game if you just like to see running offenses work.
Yeah, and it's going to be the closest thing. It's not, but it's going to be the closest thing to another Power 5 game that you're going to see. I think, looking at my list here, right?
Maybe we'll get to one later that I could say maybe,
but yeah, it's in that category of like Wyoming's not quite there, but like it's Illinois and Wyoming. It's
a 4:00 Big Ten game. You're gonna watch it and you're vegetate.
Yep. Exactly.
Shall I move into the bootleggers tier? Yeah, it's football. I'll stumble onto it.
Let's do it.
I'll stumble into bootleggers at 1:30 in the morning and see Gene sitting across from me at the bar.
Yep. You don't know why you're there, but...
Okay, what would be your first pick for this tier?
My first pick would probably be Nevada and New Mexico State. Later game on Saturday.
Really? I would have this in the bottom tier.
Really?
I think they're both going to be really stinky teams.
And... Yeah, but they're both the right amount of stinky that it could make for some action.
Okay. I like that. The line is actually only 8.5, so that could be some stinky, dumb plays that end up you just laugh at your TV. I think that it's like watching a Steven Seagal movie. You're in it for the bad stuff.
Right. Yeah. I'm not. Yeah. It's not. It's not John Wick. It's Seagal.
My pick for this is going to be Duquesne, Florida State. Just
Pittsburgh bias on that one.
Pittsburgh bias. Also, I want to see what you're not going to really see what Florida State's like until LSU next week.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see, if Jordan Travis and receivers have good chemistry, have good timing. Because if they're dropping passes, if he's throwing balls wide, it might set the tone for next week unless he can iron out in a week before the Superdome game.
Yeah. Do you have the line for this one? Did they even set one?
They haven't set one. If it's going to come out, it's going to come out day of. And they might not set a line on this.
Guess the line if you had to predict.
27.5.
Oh, I think it's gonna be higher than that. I'm thinking like 35.5.
Well, the Pitt UMass line was like 39 last year.
Yeah.
The difference is though that Duquesne is actually a good team in their FCS conference.
Right.
So maybe, but yeah, it's gonna be a big line.
Mm-hmm.
Like we said, play the game at Rooney Stadium and we'll see who wins.
You can't count out Duquesne at Rooney Stadium. There another one that I don't know. You tell me what you think about this one, but Idaho State and UNLV.
Trash tier.
Trash tier?
Yeah. It's not being played in any of the Idaho domes, so it does not matter to me. If that was being played in the Kibbe Dome or it's called Holt Arena's Idaho State's, that automatically puts it up into skyrockets the tier because it's such a funny stadium. But it's being played at Las Vegas. Does not matter.
Okay. That was one that I was on the fence about. My other, watch it if it's on, because it's going to be late night.
It's the only game on.
Pac-12 after dark. Vandy, Hawaii.
Mountain West after dark.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. Never doubt Hawaii on the island.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be watching it at the bar, right?
Yeah.
We're going to ask him to put it on.
That's going to be the one where we're chasing our losses from Nebraska and Northwestern, trying to get back even.
Yeah.
Throwing whatever parlay we can at this and hope it sticks, and everybody else is going to be like listening to music, dancing at the bars, and we're just going to be glued to the TV just to see what happens for this game.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
not must watch TV, but it's going to be the only one that's on.
It's if you're at the bar you're watching, just because it's Hawaii football, it has that allure of being that night game, of you being absolutely just, you might be teetering a little bit, and you're just like, why are there 33 players on offense?
That tequila shot has you feeling nice.
Yeah. If I had to add a couple of games this year, I think that if you're a big group of five head and you have interest in the CUSA, Charlotte FAU might give you an idea of who's coming out of the East besides Western Kentucky.
Yeah.
Yep. And then I'm not putting them in upset alert, but I think it would be very funny. This is dependent on the score of the game. Florida A&U North Carolina. If that game is close, that immediately gets bumped up to this tier.
For sure.
Because they announced, was it Drake May? Who plays on the basketball team?
Yes.
Right? They announced they're going with Drake May as a true freshman quarterback, which probably is the right move, but does he get rattled week 1 against a pretty good HBCU team?
So I think that kind of goes. I think that same reasoning can kind of be said for all of these like Power 5 versus not games. Mm-hmm. That if they're closer than they're supposed to be, they automatically become.
Yep.
They jump a tier essentially.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one of them.
Okay, let's run through the fast tier real quick. Games you don't want to watch unless you root for these teams, I guess.
Nobody's rooting for these teams.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Might have a couple of Utah State fans in this podcast. Let's go. So, by the way, we didn't list the times for the last two. Charlotte FAU is 7 o'clock on CBS Sports Network. Florida A&M North Carolina is 8:15 on ACC Network. And Vanderbilt Hawaii is 10:30 on CBS Sports Network. Which is one of the extra channels, so you might have to go to a bar to watch it if you have the basic cable like us. All right, let's run through the fats tier. Austin Peay, Western Kentucky, 12 o'clock on CBS Sports Network. Early
game that's going to be...
We might have to stream it as a warm-up for Nebraska Northwestern, though.
We'll see.
We'll see, yeah.
We'll see.
Idaho State, UNLV, 3:30 on CBS Sports Network. UConn, Utah State at 4 o'clock on Fox Sports 1. This line is 26.5 in favor of Utah State.
Probably as it should be.
Yep.
It's crazy when you see a team that's in the Power 5 that's...
UConn's an independent.
No. Like, Utah being not that great of a Power 5 team against,
Utah State's Mountain West. Utah State, not Utah.
Oh. Okay, then totally disregard that.
Fine by me.
Still a crazy line.
Yeah. 9 o'clock, you have North Texas UTEP. I don't even know. That might be one of the ones on like Stadium or Facebook. That weird streaming. Yeah. That was mentioned before. Nevada, New Mexico State is 10 o'clock on ESPN2. If you can't get the Vandy game, you get this one.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it's a bare slate, but I'm just excited to watch college football again.
Yeah. We
have at least one helmet game, one Power 5 game. Do you think that? So I think our preview here is done. I don't think there's much more to talk about football-wise. There's just not a lot going. Do you think that in the future they're going to start putting more interesting games in Week 0, or just going to be kind of offloading the trash from? Because, I mean, they already control Labor Day weekend, right? You have, like, just to run through it, you have West Virginia, Pittsburgh on Thursday, Penn State, Purdue on Thursday. Friday, you have full slate of games. None of them are particularly intriguing, I think. Maybe TCU, Colorado, and Illinois, Indiana are the two big ones. Saturday, you have NC State, ECU, which is at least in-state. UNC, App State, which I think that App State's going to win that game.
I would love that.
That would be very funny. And then you have Oregon, Georgia in the kickoff game. Cincinnati, Arkansas, banger. Utah, Florida, at least a good helmet matchup. You got Notre Dame, Ohio State as a nightcap on Saturday, and then Sunday you have Florida State, LSU, which is just helmet matchup, no matter how good the teams are.
Right. Now, I don't think that they ever will, because I think that the only reason these games are played is because of the teams you're getting. No, I don't think anybody's gonna ever like you. Why would Ohio State and Notre Dame bump a week up when they're gonna have
second bye week maybe?
Yeah.
I guess teams like that don't really factor that in though.
Yeah.
Because the only like really big helmet-on-helmet game that I remember is a couple years ago when Florida played Florida and Miami or Florida and FSU. It was a Week 0 game.
I don't remember.
It was. I know Florida's one of the teams. I remember seeing Felipe Franco. I think it was Florida and Miami played in Week 0, and that's really the only big game that we get besides your Hawaii always plays Week 0.
I think there's a reason it's Week 0, not Week 1.
Yeah, I agree.
I would always love more football earlier, but it's kind of
we're trying to open our presents on Christmas Eve, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
That's all. All right. Thanks for tuning in. Next time, we're going to put out a couple shows next week. We're going to do a Pitt 2 Deep, kind of going down the roster, previewing each position. We are going to do a West Virginia game preview. That'll probably drop Wednesday, day before, so you have a full day to take it in. Maybe something special coming on Thursday. You have to plan that out. We're going to talk as we record this week. There will be a day after show, a little morning after show, and maybe we'll preview the rest of week 1 during that show, and then recap a little bit of what happened Thursday night.
Yeah, sounds like a good plan. But we got some really good stuff coming up. We're right on the edge of getting full-fledged into this thing. Let's have a fucking college football season, baby.
God, let's go. All right, thanks for listening to the show. As always, you can find us at Semple5Pod on Twitter. Make sure to give us a follow. We're coming up on 100 followers, so let's get to that mark.
Let's go. 3 figures. 3 figures.
Would be huge for us. Other than that, make sure to follow the podcast on wherever you get it. Spotify, Apple, Google, Amazon. Rate us 5 stars. Leave a review on Apple. You can find me at Heimer Langry on Twitter. You can find Mason at Clayson_Ming. You can find our missing co-host Kent, who is currently at town right now, at Kenton_VW. And with that, see you next week.
Yeah, we bet.